Are you awake? Really awake? Because what I'm about to tell you will challenge everything you thought you knew about national security and the vulnerability of our power grid. We've been spoon-fed a narrative about the Colonial pipeline hack, a lone wolf ransomware attack by some Russian cybercriminals. But what if that's a smokescreen? What if the entire incident was a meticulously planned drill, a strategic probing of our defenses, masked as a crime, orchestrated by a foreign power with far more sinister intentions? Buckle up, Anomaly Leger viewers. This case file reveals a truth that goes all the way to the Kremlin. This wasn't just about money. This was about exposing weaknesses. And they found plenty. The official story goes that a group called DarkSide, operating out of Russia, launched a ransomware attack on Colonial Pipeline in May 2021. They crippled the company's billing system, forcing the shutdown of the entire pipeline. Gas shortages ensued, prices soared, and panic gripped the East Coast. Now, think about this. For a simple ransomware attack to bring the largest fuel pipeline in the United States to its knees, it required more than just malware. It needed reconnaissance. Someone needed to know the precise vulnerabilities in Colonial Pipeline system, their backup procedures, their fail-safes. The sophistication points towards deep insider knowledge that likely would only be available to someone who had extensively studied the Colonial Pipeline system, perhaps even previously had access to the system during what looked like ordinary security exercise protocols. But if it wasn't a genuine attack, but rather an elaborately designed simulation, what then? Let's dive deeper. Following the attack, Colonial Pipeline paid a ransom of $4.4 million in Bitcoin to DarkSide. The FBI claims to have recovered a significant portion of that ransom. Convenient, isn't it? Recovering ransom payments makes a good headline. It placates the public. But look closer. Did the money really change hands? Or was it a staged transaction? A smokescreen to further conceal the real purpose of the exercise? A cybersecurity expert I consulted off the record, let's call him Spectre, believes the entire ransom payment was a black operation. Spectre noted that seizing cryptocurrency requires both incredible speed and luck, something beyond the typical resources allocated for a criminal hacking group of this kind. And the question remains, if the FBI can track and seize cryptocurrency so effectively, why hasn't this happened more often with other high-profile ransomware attacks? It suggests a degree of pre-planning and inside knowledge that extends far beyond simple law enforcement procedure. Here's where it gets truly disturbing. Consider the timeline. The Colonial Pipeline hack occurred just weeks before President Biden signed an executive order on improving the nation's cybersecurity. This order ostensibly aimed to modernize cybersecurity defenses and protect federal networks. However, some security experts argue that the executive order provided justification for increased government surveillance and control over critical infrastructure. What if the Colonial Pipeline hack was manufactured to justify this executive order? To create a sense of urgency, a crisis that demanded immediate government intervention? Spectre further pointed out the similarities with large-scale drills of the power grid which involved detailed system testing. These tests, supposedly aimed at enhancing security, would also expose weaknesses that could then be exploited by a nation-state, should they wish to assess potential damage they can cause in a future act of aggression. The idea isn't whether one rogue group of Russians successfully held the nation for ransom. Rather, it's to reveal just how soft our defenses truly are and what we'll accept when it comes to a federal cybersecurity decree. The smoking gun, as far as I'm concerned, lies in the official response. The Biden administration downplayed the incident, reassuring the public that the gas supply would be restored soon. And it was, almost too quickly. If this were a real cyber attack perpetrated by a sophisticated enemy, wouldn't we expect a more prolonged disruption? A more significant impact on the national economy? Instead, the crisis conveniently subsided just as the executive order was rolled out. Spectre notes a potential connection with military-sponsored cyber exercises held months before. A red team, blue team engagement may very well serve the purposes of multiple ends, with red teaming being a proof of concept and blue teaming for the sake of understanding the system in question so as to identify its weak points for defensive protocols, as well as exposing such soft targets to the opponent. Taken all together, these factors combined paint a troubling picture, the image that the nation has effectively volunteered as a case study.
The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI conducted a thorough investigation into the Colonial pipeline incident. Their findings, based on irrefutable evidence, clearly demonstrate that the attack was perpetrated by the DarkSide ransomware group. While we acknowledge the importance of ongoing security exercises and simulations, these exercises are designed to strengthen, not weaken, our nation's infrastructure. Any assertion that the Colonial pipeline incident was a government-sponsored drill is patently false and serves only to undermine public trust in vital institutions.
Is it really irrefutable, though? Because a nagging feeling is forming. This narrative feels far too neat and wrapped with a bow. Were the American people deliberately misled about the true nature of the Colonial pipeline hack? The incident was very real. Gas prices went up. Panic ensued. No denying that part. However, was this an actual hostile attack by a criminal ransomware collective? Or did it serve the dual purpose of illuminating just how precarious America's infrastructure really is, as well as serving the grounds to expand federal surveillance, perhaps for entirely different reasons in the future? Dig deeper. Anomaly Ledger Inner Circle. Help me find out the answer. And don't forget to subscribe for more cases that they don't want you to see.